This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio, here along with Matt Allen, and together we are your KTAR car guys, heard every Saturday from 11 to noon. At Bumper to Bumper Radio, we're helping you, the motoring public, have a better overall car experience. So if you got car questions, we've got car answers. To get a hold of us, call us at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. And today on the Bumper to Bumper Roadmap, we're going to have a automotive tip of the week. Of course, we're taking all your phone calls, and you can text us at 411-923 as well as call us. And then, are you being fleeced or overserved, or how is your servicing going? Matt, I get this question all the time when people come in the shop. It's actually not a question, but a statement. When somebody's first time in my shop, they'll say, "Oh, I was going to this other shop, man, but every time I went in there, they were recommending this, that, the other, you know." And I start to question about what they're being recommended, and they'll tell me, and I'm like, "Well, that actually sounds normal."
Boy, that could go a lot of ways, Dave. I mean, I jokingly say with the customers sometimes, I say, every time I come in, I need something. It's good. Well, because you never fix anything. Maybe that's half the problem. Yeah. But you do have to wonder. I mean, this industry, Dave, it's a tough business to be in. And everybody thinks they know how to do it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's uncles or dad or brother. It's not like you can run down to the dental store and go buy a drill and some mercury to fill your cavities and do it yourself. But a lot of people think they can do that with the car. It's difficult, and it's very subjective at times. A lot of people can look at a car, and you could have 5 people get the same car and come up with 3 different answers, or 5, or 6, or several possibilities. But when someone recommends something, there has to be some substance behind it. Why you have to understand why do I need this? These are questions I think we should be asking.
Well, it's there's a lot of shops where you go in, and I feel like they're making the recommendations of the stuff they want to recommend, stuff that are their profit centers, and the stuff that they want to do. It doesn't take a really high qualified technician. They can use maybe just kind of an hourly wage entry level technician, and they can have just about anybody do it. And so guess what? It's very profitable for them. So everybody happens to need that service. Yeah. And so I think it's some of the common ones that come up, Matt, and it's the fluid services. Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about the easy work, right? I mean, it's just that you get everything we sell. Because that's all we sell, so you get that, right?
So I think, am I being serviced well, or am I being fleeced when I go to the auto shop? And as consumers, how are you to know? Well, the best way to know is, we're talking about some industry norms here on the show, so you can, take notes on it and so does that sound right or does that sound wrong? You don't have to know in depth to the level that we could take you, but just some basic stuff. Is it normal that at 10,000 miles I need a transmission service? No, it would be completely crazy,
right.
So just what are those norms and fluid services, Matt? What is the number one oversold fluid service in your guesstimation?
Oh, boy. I'm going to say brake fluid service, brake fluid change. And we'll just kind of quickly dive into these. A car does need to have the brake fluid changed periodically. Mm-hmm. And, take a manufacturer like Porsche. That's where I started off, and every year we had to change the brake fluid so people could go for the Porsche Club events. It was required. And then you see it every 2 years on most of your German cars, and American cars have followed suit. You look at a Corvette, it'll say 2 years. You look at a Malibu, it says never. Mm-hmm. Okay? So part of it has to do with performance, but there's an objective test we can do with the brake fluid. Just because it looks bad doesn't mean it's bad. And just because it's bad doesn't mean it looks bad. It can look perfectly clean and still be bad. So there's an objective test to doing that. So that is one. And I like to either tie it into a mileage interval, or I'll check brake fluid at the shop. We'll check it and say, it's bad, but you're going to need brakes in about 7,000 miles. So we're just going to do it when we do your brakes.
Makes sense.
So part of the question you have to ask is, yes, I need this. I also need to eat. but I don't need to eat every day. I could probably skip a day or two. So how bad do you really need what the shop is telling you?
I could probably skip my 10 o'clock snack. I can make it to lunch.
Yes, exactly. And the car oftentimes can make it.
So brake fluid services. What about coolant services?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of subjectivity there, too. Do the coolants really last as long as the manufacturers say they're going to do? A lot of times they do, but you brought it up, Dave. I mean, what goes along with the coolant services, I think other people sell, is the hoses too often.
Man, I get these cars that roll into my bay, and the car's got 80,000 miles on it. It's got all new aftermarket hoses on it.
Well, not even all new. The two easy ones.
The two easy ones. The upper and the lower hose. The other ones, I guess, weren't as important. But they put the two easy hoses on there, and they don't have the spring clamps that came from the factory. They've got those worm clamps. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking, wow, they literally just took off perfectly good hoses, and they put on these particular hoses here from Acme Hose Maker. They, did this customer a disservice. They've been fleeced.
I've had, and I don't know why a rash, I've had 3 Priuses in the last couple weeks, and this happened a couple weeks ago, so let's just say a month ago, I had a rash of Priuses that came in. People wanted second opinions. I was at so-and-so dealer, and they said I need new hoses. How many miles on your car, ma'am? Oh, it's got 92,000.
Oh, Toyota hoses are great.
Yeah, I've got I just sent my wife to Texas in my 2010 Tundra. She's not home yet, so fingers crossed. It's got 137,000 miles on it. I'm not even considering taking care, I'm not even considering replacing the hoses. And she's gone, and on the way home back. I mean, we're talking South Padre Island, far Texas. And I know my truck's been taken care of. That gets me off on another little tangent I could go on. Did I have that truck checked out before I sent her on a round trip halfway across the United States? No, I did not. You know why? My truck is taken care of. It's in the shop every 5,000 miles, and I do what my technicians tell me to do on it. So that's why. I didn't check it out. Down the road. See ya.
That's because they're happy to spend your money on your truck.
Right, right. So, Dave, what about? We have fluid services. I think that's some of the things we talk about. We talked. What was the other one? Fuel injection cleaning.
Fuel injection cleaning. Yeah, and you made the point before the show. You're not necessarily going to even find fuel injection cleaning in your owner's manual of the car. It's not that there isn't room for it. I mean, it is recommended, especially like you said with the direct injection cars. It may be a thing, but there's a lot of services out there. I remember this was probably 5 years ago, taking my wife's car to the car wash, and it was a Saturday, and I needed to get the oil changed. Sometimes it's easier to get the oil changed at the car wash than at my shop. My car is the last car to get in the shop at my shop, and so I pull in there, and the guy goes, "Oh wow, he doesn't even know the mileage of the car." He goes, "You're due for a fuel injection service." Oh, I am. Thank you so much.
I remember this. You really pinned this kid down. He was like, duh. He didn't have an answer.
But he's relatively young, naive, possibly. He's towing the line when it comes to recommending something to everybody.
Because that's what they do.
Because that's what they do. They're there to sell stuff. It's a profit center for the car wash. And it's not to say you can't necessarily get good service at the car wash. I mean, it's possible, but not my first choice. So yeah, fuel injection service. In the fuel injection service, they got a can of Cheese Whiz, right? They just hook into the fuel rail, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I always say this: instead of spending $189 at the car wash, or maybe they've got them at $89.
Oh, $89 because
go buy 100 Big Macs for $1. Go take them around and give them to the homeless people around, or you'll feel better about yourself and you'll get more benefit because that stuff isn't going to help you. I mean, and I like to do my fuel injection services. They are legitimate. They do need to be done if they're getting done with a good quality product and such. But I like to tie them in. They should be done in correlation with your spark plugs when the spark plugs are due, or at a mileage interval based on experience. For example, your direct injection cars, Audis, BMWs, your Hyundais and Kias. We're seeing these patterns develop, so there's got to be logic behind it, not just hey, there's a fresh one coming in. Hey, you want to buy a fuel injection flush? Yeah, hey, you want that large size?
Mm-hmm.
It's just
super
a question, and a lot of people say yes unnecessarily.
Sure. No problem.
Hell no, I don't want it supersized.
It's I think there's some good supplements out there, and there's some not so good supplements out there.
Did we talk about bushings?
Oh yeah, we didn't front end stuff.
Really, yeah.
Front end stuff and bushings. I feel like that's just an overzealous. Again, they can kind of be done more entry level technicians. Some of them. And it's just they're rubber pieces. When you look at them, they'll have a little bit of cracking on them. When I say cracking, it's not, maybe like some wrinkles in your skin. Yeah, your skin is okay, but it's getting a little wrinkly. But they're not actually what we call separated or have a crack in them, where it's actually, it's just surface cracking. And so every car needs bushings when it comes through the door. And those, I believe that's an overzealous thing.
Yeah, and if you're driving a Honda, you might get recommended, you might hear this word, you need tie rod in boots, or you need ball joint boots to the tune of, I think, about $270 for each one of those operations. That's a complete waste of money. There's no value to the consumer buying that stuff. So if you're pedaling around in a Honda, wonder about that. And usually you have a symptom that goes along with these bushings. I can look at the bottom of my sole, Dave, and they're worn a little bit, but they still got lots of life left in them.
Yeah.
So if someone tells you need controlling bushings or you need these bushings, why do I need them? And what's the consequence of not doing them? And other than visually, is there a symptom? Maybe there's a noise. You might feel a thump. And maybe they'll say, well, yeah, it's broken. You're going to feel that. And you might go, oh,
yeah, I did feel that. Yeah, that makes sense.
So then maybe it makes sense. Yeah, the left one was broken. The right one's starting to crack. Yeah, we're going to do them both. Yeah, we'll do them both. So we can slice this auto repair up any way you want to slice it. And that's why I'm always going to go back to the importance of a relationship with your shop and asking them questions and doing show and tell.
For sure. When we come back, we've got Ron, Dee, and Jeff, and more open lines at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. You can also text us at 411-923. You're listening to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys, on Bumper to Bumper Radio. Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
Honesty and integrity. It's the only option. Hi, Spencer Doucet for H&I Automotive. H is for honesty, and I is for integrity. We built our business on these two principles. We opened our first shop in Mesa in 2009, and with the support from our loyal customers, we've now grown to a second state-of-the-art location in Gilbert. 2 locations, same principles. Quality service at a great value, backed by an industry-leading 60-month, 60,000-mile parts and labor warranty. Check us out at HNIautomotive.com.
There is nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock here for Kurt's Auto Repair. I brought my nephew and general manager, Jeff Rock, to help spread the word.
Thanks, Pops. Yep, the more things change, the more they stay the same at Kurt's. Family owned and operated, our ASE Master Techs and family ethics have earned us a perfect Better Business Bureau record for over 30 years. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue in Bell or online at mycarhurts.com.
Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic, if your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I'm Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and we're taking your phone calls at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. We've got Mark and Jeff and Dee and Ron, and we've been talking about when are you being fleeced and when are you just being serviced well, and the difference between the two, and what are some of those items that are fleecings and some of those items that are just good services that you need. And no matter what the problem with your car, if you want to talk about am I being fleeced or am I being serviced, or you got some question about a vibration in your car or maybe some weird noise, and if you call it a noise, we are going to make you make that sound on the air. So be prepared to make that sound. So anyhow.
You know, Dave, one thing I like to when people are at the auto shop and they say they need something, tell them to write it down. It's one thing to say it, But when they got to write it down and put their name on it, it's a little bit different. Hey, we did a second opinion yesterday. Car needed allegedly tie rod ends, control arm bushings, brakes with rotors, some filters. No, didn't need it. Had a dirty air filter, had a dirty cabin air filter. Needed brakes, didn't need rotors. Didn't have any bad tie rod ends.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So just have a conversation with the shop, have them show it to you, and ask them why, and I think it'll get you into the better luck of auto repair.
For sure. And there's a lot of good shops out there. There's a few that aren't so hot, but we'll just focus on the good ones.
That's right.
For now. So anyhow, let's go with Ron in Surprise. He's got a 2018 Hyundai Accent. How can we help you, Ron? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Good morning, guys. I really enjoy and appreciate your show. I'm learning a lot, but I've also learned a lot from being fleeced a lot.
Oops.
I don't want to go into it because it starts back even before you guys were born.
Right? Oh, good Lord. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, I have a 2018 Hyundai Accent, 3,300 miles. I've had it for 6 months. I really enjoy the car. Haven't brought it into the dealer for an oil change. But I have one issue, and perhaps you might be able to give me an idea as to what it might be. There are times, it's one of those things that happens and then doesn't happen, when I'll be slowing up, let's say, for a turn, and I accelerate, and there's like a dead spot. There's a hesitation, and then the car picks up. Same thing could happen when I'm at a stop. The car is not moving, I accelerate, and there's a hesitation, a dead spot, and then the car moves and a little faster than it normally would move. And I don't know what that is.
Is this consistent enough where you could put the service writer or technician in the car with you, and you could drive it around and show it to them? No?
No, I wish I could.
One of the things with these new modern 8-speed transmissions, or as they get more complex, there are certain situations where they just don't work all that great. And
they're confused.
They're confused, right? So there's certain driving situations with the right amount of throttle pressure, how much your foot is in the gas, the right speed, the right circumstance, where it kind of gets caught between a gear. And it bobbles a little bit, or they don't work perfectly. And the way I describe it is that if I drive a car from here to the other side of town and it's got 8 speeds, that means it goes up 8 speeds and down 8 speeds between stoplights. So between here and in the Northwest Valley, it's going to shift 200 times. Out of those 200 times with a modern transmission, it's going to do it right about 97% of the time. The other 3%.
You just made that up, didn't you?
Totally. 70% of all statistics are made up just before they're given. But it's pretty darn close. 97% of the time it's going to work great, and a little bit of it's not. But you got this brand new car, and you're expecting it to be perfect. My wife's got a 2016 Grand Cherokee, and it just turned 31,000 miles. And I'll be honest, that 8-speed in that thing, it feels good when it's working right, but sometimes I'm not impressed. Every now and then it's got a little glitch, and there's a software update. I took it back to Jeep under warranty. They updated the software for the transmission. Guess what? It's a touch better, but it's still an 8-speed transmission.
Well, and that's what I was going to say for Ron. He's barely got 3,000 miles on the car. Maybe for the next couple thousand miles, because I think your first oil change will be at 5,000. For the next couple thousand miles, maybe change your driving habits a little bit. Maybe you want to use the gas pedal a little bit more. Maybe see if you slightly modify your driving habits, see if the problem is still there. But you already covered it, Dave. There might be a software update. There's a lot more people in 2018 Kias, or Hyundais, that have a lot more miles than you. And if they've been complaining about this enough across the nation, they may have a software update, and you may be covered by that. So it's worth mentioning for sure.
Yeah, and one of the things, too, is when people come in with a complaint or we drive the car with them, they may have a certain situation in a transmission that we feel, and we say, hey, we can drive through it. And it's like when I used to drive a Honda Element, and it had a crummy 1-2 shift every now and then. Well, guess what? I learned to drive around it, so I never really felt it, but it was always like, I don't like that. So anyway, thanks for the call, Ron, 602-277-5827. We're going to go with D in Mesa on a Mazda Navajo. How can we help you, D? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yes. I would like to know if you could give me a place where I could take my car. I do not have a computer. And I live between Broadway and Main, right off of Power. And the last place I took my car, after they had it tore apart, they informed me it was going to be a lot more. And I'm so tired. I just would like a place that I can take it and not have to worry that I'm going to be overcharged or taken advantage of.
Sure. Dee, what we're going to do, we'll have to look that up. I know we've got a couple shops in Mesa. We got Accurate Automotive. We got Mesa Auto Works. We got H&I Automotive. So we can't really look that up while we're talking to you. So we are going to specifically answer your question in a little bit. So just stay tuned and stay on the air, and we will call you out and we'll make a recommendation to a shop at those or two at those closest cross streets. So, the other thing, Dee says is every time I go in, or I feel like this, there's a lot of emotion in car repair. And if you're not prepared for it, you get excited, especially if you have a breakdown. Like you said, Dave, are you a triage patient or are you a regular patient? And if you're that regular patient, you never really get too stressed out because you're just always in, you're on time, and you're allowing the shop to work with you. You're having good conversations about the car. And you can work through these things, and you don't ever have to feel like that. And if you do feel like that at a shop, don't get online and go write a bad review, and don't just abandon them. You might be abandoning a good relationship. Go talk to them, and hey, I feel like this, or I'm a little confused about this repair. Can you help me understand?
Communication always ends bad assumptions. And if I'm not talking to somebody, I can just assume something. Sometimes you got to ask questions, and communication is a two-way street. Mm-hmm. So as a shop, they're all ready to communicate with you, but they can't draw you out. Like, how do you feel about that? Do you want to talk about that? Do you have any questions? A lot of times it's like, okay, I'm going to call my wife. I'll call you back. And that's it. No, let's talk about this.
And you might get bad advice in the first place that makes you feel like that. Half the water cooler talk, or Harry that fixes his car on the weekend, he's wrong a lot. So
I knew Harry, right? So anyway, thanks for the call, Dee. And when we come back, we're going to have a name of some good shops for you. 602-277-5827. You're listening to Matt and Dave, your KTAR Car Guys on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
I listened regularly to Bumper to Bumper Radio and knew that they only refer the best shops. So when my beloved 2007 Honda Accord was hit recently, I simply went to bumpertobumperradio.com. Hi, this is Sarah from North Phoenix. Even though it was not the closest shop to my home, I chose Campus Auto Body Salon. I did my homework. I liked that they've been in business since 1973 and was impressed with their outstanding customer reviews. Every customer was completely satisfied. I even went to 2 other non-Bumper to Bumper Radio shops first. Then I went to Campus Auto Body Salon. Wow, what a difference. I met with the owner, Leo Petrozella. He was easy to talk to, gave me an initial estimate right on the spot, and handled all of the negotiations with the insurance company. Leo communicated with me throughout the repair process, and I could not have been more pleased with the outcome. The paint match, fit, and finish exceeded my expectations. If you've been in an accident, your first and only call should be to Campus Auto Body Salon.
Life's good news often comes with a little bad news, right? Hi, Dave Riccio, owner of Tri-City Transmission and co-host of Bumper to Bumper Radio. Car repair seems to follow that same trend. The good news? Transmissions are lasting twice as long as they used to. The bad news? They can cost as much as $1,000 more than you might remember. So if you're going to have to spend some money on a new transmission, you want to be sure you really need it. And if you do, that it's done right at a fair price. For over 45 years, Tri-City Transmission has built a reputation for having the experience and expertise to properly diagnose and repair your transmission without costly overhaul or replacement. If we do have to recommend a major transmission repair, you can be assured you're getting an honest recommendation and a job done right at a fair price. I guarantee it. Check us out online at TricityTransmission.com. That's TricityTransmission.com. TricityTransmission.com.
Arizona's news station. KTAR. On air, 92.3 FM. Online at KTAR.com. And streaming live on the KTAR News app. Your breaking news and traffic. Now.
KTAR News Time, it's 11:30. I'm Amy Pohl. Arizona has a new first-in-the-nation law for prop tech. It would allow businesses, especially startups, to test products or services in the real estate industry. State Representative Jeff Wenninger says they'll wait fewer than 90 days for state approval.
That can save a couple years. If you have to wait around for us to follow you, the innovators, with laws, that's just waiting too long.
Wenninger addressed the Arizona Tech Innovation Summit where the governor signed his bill into law. It had bipartisan support. KTAR Eyes on Immigration. DHS Chief Kirsten Nielsen says Immigration and Customs Enforcement had no choice but to release migrants because ICE detention centers are full. She says they are vetting immigrants to be sure not to release dangerous people in our communities. In the last week, ICE released roughly 500 immigrants into Arizona. In the last 3 months, the number was nearly 15,000. And now for a check on traffic. Here's Mike Daniels live from the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
Well, thank you, Amy. We do have injury accident on Bell Road west of 64th Street, right there at 61st Place, and a natural gas line leak on Dunlap Avenue east of the I-17. Fire on scene. Expect some minor delays in that area. This traffic report is brought to you by Inspire Sleep. Inspire is a sleep apnea solution that doesn't involve a mask or hose. The freedom to sleep like everyone else is just a click away at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com. I'm Mike Daniels, KTAR News.
KTAR weather for the Valley. Today's forecast, it's 66 degrees in Mesa, sunny with a high of 78. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 53. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. Weather replace or repair, call Howard Air. I'm Amy Full on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
The Valley's only all-news morning show is on Arizona's news station.
With traffic and weather every 6 minutes.
And the latest breaking news on your way to work. Start your day with Arizona's morning news.
Weekdays 5 to 9 on Arizona's news station. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and streaming live on the KTAR News app.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Hi, Kevin Rowe from I-17 Collision in Phoenix. If the bad news is you've had an accident, the good news is that with one easy click on bumpertobumperradio.com, you have the best collision, body, and paint shops to help you get back on the road quickly, safely, and with a repair you can trust.
Dave Lindgren here from First Class Auto Body in Scottsdale. Don't be fooled. Some insurance companies try to convince you that you must use their approved shops for your repairs. Not true. Arizona law allows you to choose the facility that's right for you.
And I'm Leo Petrozello from Campus Body Salon in Tempe. Having an accident is stressful enough. Dealing with the repair process shouldn't be. Appearance is important, but it's critical that structural integrity and safety are top priority.
3 convenient locations and one united team. With almost 120 years of experience and expertise between us, we are solely focused on taking care of you while working with your insurance company. The Collision Team at bumpertobumperradio.com.
The LPGA Bank of Hope Founders Cup returns for a 9th year to Wildfire Golf Club March 19th through the 24th. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Purchase a family 4-pack and hang out with your kids at Autograph Alley. Huddle up next to the green at one of our hospitality venues where you can enjoy a great view, a cool drink, and a bite to eat. Attend the Women's Leadership Forum. Join us at the Bank of Hope Founders Cup. It's the ultimate family golf experience. For tickets, visit LPGAFoundersCup.com. That's LPGAFoundersCup.com.
This is Bumper to Bumper Radio, KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and we are helping you with your car. For those of you that are new to the show, maybe you just tuned in, what the heck is Bumper to Bumper Radio? Bumper to Bumper Radio is a car to put you in the know of some auto repair norms and some automotive norms, things that you can count on, things you can expect to relieve the anxiety out of auto repair. And we are your comfortable blanket when it comes to feeling safe at the auto shop. And we had a call in the last segment from Dee, and Dee's doesn't have a computer, so I can't just send her a website to go find an auto shop, but she's asking for a good auto shop in Mesa where she lives. Well, Bumper to Bumper Radio is not only this radio show, but there's a list of shops at bumpertobumperradio.com where all the shops are listed out that Matt and I would carte blanche refer you to because we know you're in good hands. And so I thought about Mesa. Well, we got so many shops in Mesa.
There's a few.
So the first one that came to mind is Accurate Automotive. Lee Weatherby and his wife, they run a great facility, and I'm not as good at Robson, so it took me, or as good at Mesa, so it took me a minute when she gave us the cross streets. But he's at, I'm
Broadway and Robeson.
Broadway and Robson.
Like,
no, yeah.
But we both have to think, well, where's that? Because we don't go to Mesa.
I don't go to Mesa very often. But I was thinking she could go there, but then I'm looking on the map. That's not going to be close enough for her. So then I go all the way out to Mesa Auto Works, Stan and his people, and they're a great shop, and you'd be taken care of there. But they're
McKellips and Higley.
McKellips and Higley.
They're quite a bit north.
You can tell Matt and I didn't grow up in Mesa. We grew up in the valley, but not Mesa.
Right.
So I got a map question every time I go see him just to see where I'm going.
Right.
Actually,
so D, got to have your pen and your pencil ready or your paper, whatever you got, D. So D doesn't have the luxury of having a computer, but she still has a car. So
and a pen and paper.
And a pen and paper. So D, you're going to want to try out H&I Automotive. They're going to be the ones closest to you in Mesa of all the shops we have in Mesa. H&I Automotive, and they're at Higley in Maine. So they're about a mile north of you and maybe 2 miles west. And their phone number for H&I Automotive D is 480-985-9279. Give them a call, and you will be in great hands. We promise.
One more time,
480-985-9279.
Thanks so much for the call, Dee. And Matt, we got to get to these phones. It looks like we've got Henry, we've got Mark, we've got John, and we've got Juan. But we're going to go with Jeff in Phoenix. He's got a Chevrolet Malibu. How can we help you, Jeff? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. I appreciate your time.
You bet.
Listen, I need your advice on how to fix a couple pretty severe cigarette burns in the driver's seat of my brand-new car. Is there a kit out there that's available that you're aware of, or maybe a professional detail shop you could refer me to? But I've got to get them fixed.
Is this leather or cloth? Or
No, it's the cloth.
The thing about cigarette burns, because I, in my former years, did a little bit of smoking, the upholstery guy is the best guy to go talk to. I'm trying to think of some guys off the top of my head, top-notch upholstery. I'm amazed what they're actually able to fix in these cars. They're able to pick up the fabric that matches, and they may have some little tricks of the trade to fix it without even, slicing and splicing.
There's a place called the Top Shop. Now, they're known for their convertible top repairs, but they do upholstery work. And they're over there on Indian School and 20th Street, kind of, where the canal crosses. Indian School in Phoenix, so they'd be a good resource. Or the other people, I just don't know anybody off the top of my head, call a used car lot. Say, hey, who do you guys have fix upholstery? Every used car lot has a guy that does that stuff. There's a lot of mobile guys that come out and they'll maybe they insert or they can get creative and do all kinds of stuff.
Campus Auto Body, who's on our list, he's right off of Curry. He's got a shop literally in the same complex. The guy's name is Chris. I just don't know the name of Chris's business, but he does all my upholstery work and he does a great job at it. The other thing you could do, you said it was a fairly new car. Man, get some seat covers for it.
Right.
Sometimes good seat covers fix that whole situation.
Yeah.
So anyway, good luck with that. We're going to go with Mark in Chandler with a 2011 Mazda Miata. How can we help you, Mark? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Dave, got an easy question. You'll be able to answer this with half a brain tied behind your back.
That makes me nervous.
Now, there's an unofficial answer and there's an official answer, and I know what the official answer is. I am draining and replacing my transmission and differential fluids. Of those four fill and drain plugs, 3 of them have an aluminum crush washer, and the differential fill, I believe, has a copper. I know it's not ideal to reuse them, maybe flip the copper around. Can I use an aluminum where that copper one's supposed to be so I don't have to buy that single copper crush washer and just buy my pack of 10 aluminum crush washers, or is there a reason why that's made from copper on that one specific one. They're all the same size. They're all 18 inside diameter.
Is that a steel cover or is it aluminum cover?
That's probably the reason why. I'm guessing it's whichever one would require a copper.
I wouldn't let it hold up the job if you were going to do it. You'd probably be fine reusing the other one because it's the fill plug, so not likely to get any fluid loss out of it.
Should I flip it around first?
I don't know. I'm not going to mess with it. It's the fill plug. Just let it eat. Just put it on.
I would say it's not pressure. It's not like you see the copper washers like on, brake lines, where they got a banjo fitting. It's a banjo that doesn't play any music.
Bang, bang, baby.
But I would be okay with reusing it. I actually work for a guy at this company. We were fixing these vehicles, and this guy was so cheap. I needed some copper washers. He's like, just get yourself a penny and drill a hole through the center of it.
You sound just like the propane guy there, Dave. Use the aluminum one, put a little dielectric grease on it, or just go to the Mazda dealer and buy the right one for 77 cents.
I know. Well, if you've gone down to the old NAPA Napa, they got a box of, they've got a whole tin in there. You open the thing up, and there's every copper washer you could ever want, except for the one you need, is usually what happens to me. Exactly. But I go down there, and I think they're probably charging $1.10 for those things.
Yeah.
Butane is the best at gas.
Right? Oh, boy.
So anyway, good luck with that, Mark. We're going to go with John in Phoenix. He's got a 2002 VW Euro van, and I don't see these every day. Hey, John, how can we help you on your Euro van?
Hey, I've got a problem. So I've had it about 5 years or so, put on about 35,000 miles on it. And recently, in the past couple of months, the oil pressure light has started to come on. It started initially once, maybe during a 20-mile trip, and then at one point it started to go pretty wild, and it went on and off throughout an entire 20-mile trip. And I've done some things to it. I took it to a shop. I've also ran some detergent in it, which is, I know, not recommended usually. But also did a flush on it, and it seems to be somewhat back to normal. But I guess looking for some ideas, and that might be helpful.
John, this has got the 1.8-liter engine, I believe, or the 2-liter?
The 2.8-liter, engine on it.
Does the oil light come on after more of an extended drive? Like highway speed, and you build up to it, and then the light finally comes on?
Yeah, what I've seen is that after an extended drive, kind of when I'm cruising, I kind of let the gas off a little bit, and I start to cruise to a light. I see where that happens, and also I've seen where kind of like I'm angling, the car tilts a little bit. I'm taking a turn to the right or left. Mm-hmm. And during that tilt, it comes on as well.
Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. There's nothing wrong with doing the flush and putting the additives in. I do that at my shop all the time. We have these Volkswagens and stuff that are minis, especially that burn oil. So there's nothing wrong with using the detergent. But, back when this van was newer, they did this particular, if it's the engine I'm thinking, we saw a lot of these in the Beetle too. They get carbon buildup in the engine, and it's like little rocks or sand, and it's floating in the oil. And then what you have there is you have the suction of the oil pump, and there's a small screen on there, and it's sucking that oil to the pump. Well, what it does, then it sucks all these little pieces of carbon, which are big chunks of sand, and it clogs up the oil screen. And you can't really dissolve those necessarily, or they might be embedded into the screen. So you might be at the point where you have to do an oil pressure test. Part of it is you had to pull the camshaft off or pull the cam covers. They wanted to look at the bearing that was furthest away, see if you're starving for oil, and they'd recommend all these repairs. But we successfully fixed many of these by replacing the oil pump pickup screen, and that's it.
For sure. Thanks for the call, John. We got a couple more open lines at 602-277-5827. When we come back, we're going to get to Juan. And that conversation brings up something that we're going to be doing here on April 6th. We're going to have Jason from Lab 1. That guy is a tribologist of sorts. He studies lubricants. I'm not sure he puts milk in his cereal, but maybe a lubricant of sorts. He's that kind of guy. So he's going to be on with us. We'll be talking about, if you want to talk about grease, if you want to talk about synthetic oils, if you want to talk about conventional oils, if you want to talk about differential fluid, anything you want to talk about, that is a show you're going to want to tune into. So when we come back, we're helping Juan out, and a couple more calls at 602-277-5827. You're listening to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys, on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
After a car accident, make your first call the right call to Campus Auto Body Salon. Bumper to Bumper Radio approved, 5-star rated with Yelp, CarWise.com, and A+ rated by the BBB. The best care in collision repair since 1973. Check us out at campusbodysalon.com.
Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
That's our closing line, Pops.
I know, Jeff. Just reinforcing that we're full-service auto repair.
At Kurt's Auto Repair, we do it all, including diesel. We have the passion, training, equipment, and expertise for diesel. Our techs are ASE certified for diesel and advanced diesel diagnostics. Toy hauling, horse trailering, off-roading, or work trucking, we've got you covered.
Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's. Check us out at mycarhurts.com.
You love golf? Hey, we love golf. Want to stay informed and have a little fun? Just tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 for the Bunker to Bunker Golf Show, the Valley's #1 golf show. I'm Greg Ellis. And I'm Jim Hill. And along with Marty Monahan, we talk to tour players and insiders from around the golf world. So round out the foursome, your weekly tee time, 7 a.m. Saturdays on 98.7 FM, Arizona Sports Station, or catch up with us anytime at bunkergolf.com.
Ouch! Being out of tune is no fun, and maybe even a little painful. Hi, this is Lee Weatherby, owner of Accurate Automotive in Mesa. At Accurate, we are a family-owned and operated one-stop automotive repair shop that specializes in building long-term relationships that are in tune with your needs, not ours. We've been recognized nationally as one of the top shops in the country, but for over 20 years, our priority has stayed focused on providing quality automotive service and repair at a fair price. I invite you to come in and see the difference an in-tune relationship can make for you and your car. With our free courtesy inspection, a $49 value, we feel it is well worth our investment in you because we believe good long-term relationships start early with your first walk through our doors. Accurate Automotive, home of friends serving friends, just off Broadway and Robson in Mesa since 1992. For more information, check us out online at accurateautomotiveaz.com today.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio, here along with Matt Allen. Be thankful you're not here to watch Matt Allen dance.
I don't dance. You could be here and you still wouldn't see it.
For sure. All right, well, we've got Sheila that just came through. We got another one being screened up, and then we're going to go with Juan in Phoenix. He's got a 1991 Toyota Celica. How can we help you, Juan? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Me and my son are both listening to you. I'm actually a veteran, and he's active duty right now. It's his Celica, but this is the situation. I was driving his Celica, and I was keeping it maintained while he was, in deployed, and the Celica started losing power one afternoon, and I would turn the engine off and turn it back on, and the power was restored. And they would drive like that for a while, then it would start doing the same thing all over again. Now, we just left a place called Just Brakes. They just went ahead and took a look at it, found that the fuel line was going into the, the fuel filter was loose, and it did tighten it up. Well, my question is this. Could that be an issue still with the ECU? Because that's what I was thinking might be wrong with the vehicle.
One, was there a fuel leak, or the line was just loose?
It was a fuel leak. The line was loose, and it just tightened it up.
Okay, but it was leaking, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that could be it, but I doubt it.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to solve the problem because the fuel leak is not intermittent. It's either leaking or it's not, and it's not going to probably. I mean, if it was so bad that it was going to affect the way the car was running, you would have a profuse amount of fuel, leaking out of the car.
A rolling Molotov.
Okay.
Yeah, rolling all the time. One, it could be the ECU, but it could not be the ECU. It could be a control module. It could be a fuel injector that's drawing too much amps and shutting down the injector driver circuit and shutting off the computer. It could be a lot of things. So I would suggest not guessing. Mm-hmm. And I would suggest going to a shop that is capable of diagnosing this.
And not everyone can work on a 1991 Celica.
I
mean, that's half the guys work at that shop you're at today weren't even alive.
That's what I was going to say. You're finding more and more shops. You talk about a 91 car. That's not that old, really. I mean,
you can't get any good information on that computer, and some of these younger kids, if it in the computer, they don't know what to do.
Well, yeah, it's harder and harder. Some dealerships. Toyota, there's a better than even chance Toyota wouldn't even work on that car because nobody there knows how. So you've got to find a good import shop or a shop that knows how to repair that, and you're going to have to pay them to diagnose the car. And it's more expensive to diagnose the older cars now than it is the newer cars. Mm-hmm. So, there's some work ahead of you, but the last thing you need to be doing is start guessing and hanging parts.
Yeah, no, there's so much that goes on. These people that we did this and we did that and we did the other. Now they've spent all their money. Now they got to get the car fixed.
And they're pissed at you because it's $300 to figure out. What? Are you spending $800? You want $300? Well, hell, you should have spent $800 then.
Hey, Juan, go to our website bumpertobumperradio.com. Send us an email. Not every one of our shops in our network is going to work on that car. To be frank, and maybe we can help guide you in that direction, or do some research, find somebody that's well versed in the 1991 Toyota Celica. So good luck with that. We're going to go with Sheila in Phoenix. She's got a 2005 Mitsubishi Endeavor. How can we help you, Sheila? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to get some advice. My mileage is just over 200,000, and I've had all the regular maintenance and things like that done, but I have recently started smelling a little oil or burning. Mm-hmm. It smells like it's burning. I've had to replace the oil between oil changes a few times in the past, I don't know, 6 to 8 months.
When you say you have to change the oil in between oil changes, you mean add oil to top it off? Okay.
Yeah, top it off.
Top it off. Okay.
So I thought maybe it was just, some oil burning, that spilled or something, but that's not it. So that's why I'm calling to see if you could offer any suggestions.
Yeah, so when you walk away from the car after you've been driving for a little bit, you walk away, that's when you kind of smell some burning oil? Okay.
Yeah.
The most common thing that's going to cause a smell like that is valve cover gaskets. Because when valve cover gaskets leak, they're going to leak right down on the exhaust manifolds, and you're going to get that smell. So that's could very well be a place where you get an oil leak. I get in cars, and I go in for a test drive, and valve cover gasket's leaking. I just smell it.
Or something. I mean,
you got to give you up the microphone.
I was back leaning against the desk, like 10 feet from the microphone. But no, or it's just whatever it is. It's leaking down and it's dripping onto the exhaust, and then you get a burning smell. I think, valve cover gas is really common. I think of maybe even sometimes an inner CV joint leaking some grease and dripping onto the exhaust. It just depends. So, Sheila, maybe take a look where you park the car and see if there's anything on the ground if you park in the same spot all the time.
What's funny about Sheila's phone calls, I write down 200,000 miles, I'm taking notes when you guys are calling, and I get people coming to my shop and they've got literally like 103,000 miles on their car, and the check engine light came on for the first time. They're like, should I get rid of it? I'm like, are you kidding? Right. It's only like halfway broken in.
Right.
That car's good for another couple 100,000 miles. It's so funny, just people's perspective. To Sheila, she's driving, this car's meaningful to her. 200,000 miles on it. She's still driving it. She takes care of it. Still works great. So in our disposable nation, it isn't exactly always green just to go get another car. This car is still good. Why destroy more? So anyway, we're going to go with Jenny in Casa Grande. She's got a 2003 Toyota Tundra. How can we help you, Jenny? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
I got a weird noise, and she asked me to do this on the
Here we go.
I don't know if I can do that. It's been going on for several months, and I took it down to a shop here locally, and of course, when we go out and drive it, it didn't make the noise. But still happening.
So
it kind of went away for a while, and then it's back, and nothing's going on. There's nothing wrong with the car. Everything's driving fine, but it's a weird, kind of a cross between a hiss and a whistle. It's real faint. You only hear it going really slow, like in town. You don't, when it's quiet, I can hear it at night real easy, but not at high speeds and not when you're idling. It doesn't happen.
Is it, so it's not at speed, is it with the air? Have you tried to see if you can affect the noise? And what I mean by that is sometimes you get a whistling, and you can take on your air condition, you can move it from recirculate to fresh air, and if the noise changes or you turn the air condition off. When I've got a noise and it's not doing it all the time, I'm trying to see what I can do to make it happen or not happen, and that really will help get you in the direction. That way when you go to the mechanic to have him check it out, you say, hey, listen, when I turn the air condition off, the noise goes away. That's going to be a great piece of information for him.
It doesn't make any difference.
Okay. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be that, but maybe it could be anything else. So,
the best thing to do.
I haven't a clue.
Okay. Well, the best thing to do is just take some notes, and if it doesn't do it often enough to repeat it, then you're going to have a hard time, demonstrating it for the shop. So the best thing to do is if you can demonstrate that, figure out how you can make it.
Right.
Not necessarily, maybe you don't have to do what Dave said and affect it, but if you can do something to make the noise happen, and if you can duplicate that, then you're going to want to be able to do that for the shop. I mean, short of that, if it's not affecting the way the car runs or drives and you seem to think everything's okay, then...
When we have an intermittent issue with a car, we'll give the customer what we call an event log, and it's like 5 questions, and it's just, the bubble thing you fill in, like when you took those tests in school. So it's not a big deal just to do it, just to circle, okay, it was this temperature outside, I had been driving the car this long, the temperature gauge was this, just some circumstances that cause the noise or the sensation or whatever it may be to happen, because you're going to be the best source of information for us versus us going to try and drive your car 5,000 miles to make it happen.
It's funny when I'm trying to draw information out of people, I'll say, well, where were you going? Well, why does it matter? I'm just trying to, so I'm trying to figure out just what...
None of your business.
What are the circumstances? Okay, I was leaving my house and I was headed to Flagstaff. Okay, well, that makes sense. So we start to kind of get an idea. It's just, we're not being nosy. We're trying to figure out how to help you the best way.
We're glad you can join us. If you're looking for a friendly, honest, competent shop, you can find them at bumpertobumperradio.com. Remember never to text and drive from all the shops at Bumper to Bumper Radio. Have a safe weekend.